Hello and welcome to Neeti Ravaz, your to be favorite podcast of the day that aspires to inculcate policy discussions into our mainstream tradition. So grab your cup of coffee and beware, because you might just lose track of time. We have convened together to discuss about the lacunae in the higher education in India. This has to be done in the light of the Viksit Bharat Siksha Adhishthan Bill. For the discussion today, we have been joined by Dr. Jitendra Kumar, who has graduated and post-graduated in history from the University of Delhi, and then he completed his MPhil and PhD from Jawaharlal Nehru University. His teaching journey began with valuable experiences at prestigious institutions such as PGDAV College and Indraprastha College for Women, where I personally had the experience of being taught by him several papers like Ancient and Modern Indian History, Rise of Modern West, and Delhi Through the Ages. He is currently teaching history at Kamla Nehru College, University of Delhi. Beyond teaching, Sir actively pursues research in his areas of specialization, namely land reforms and peasant history and socio-cultural history of South Asia. Given the rich background in history and academics, we have invited him to join today and to discuss about the issues in the higher education in India. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Aditi.
Um, we'll begin by a brief introduction to be given by you. Since you are from a background of history, I would want you to give a brief background of the state of higher education in India from the post-independence.
All right. So, Aditi, when we talk about the state of higher education in India
Yes.
after independence, so basically we can think about three to four things. One is a gross enrollment ratio
Hmm.
and infrastructural growth, and then we have institutional accreditation and all.
Hmm.
So when we and its challenges as well.
Hmm.
So when we talk about independence of India, as you know that India got independence in 1947. In that time we had a very few university. If I talk about 1950,
Hmm.
there were only 27 university at that time.
Hmm.
Now it is around 1100 universities in India, including central, state, deemed and private universities.
Yes.
So when we talk about gross enrollment ratio, that is GER,
Hmm.
in India 47 it was just 1%,
Hmm.
but now is around 27% in 2020.
Hmm.
When we had liberalization in 1990s, it was 6 to 7%. So
Hmm.
from 1% to 7%, and now it is around 27%.
Hmm.
And by 2035, we project that it should be around 50% GER.
Hmm.
So the point is that we had also the infrastructural development by this time. We had the institutions like AIMS, IITs, and NITs.
Hmm.
Then we have university in all states of India.
Hmm.
We have around now 43,000 colleges nationwide, including private and these one. So there had been the development in India, but the point is that there are some of the challenges also. Like we have a regional disparity in South India, like the Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and Karnataka. They have GER around 35%. But in case of some states in North India, it is very less. We have a faculty shortage also. Many universities, state university, including central university, they have face a faculty crisis. Shortage of around 30 to 40% vacancies are there. So we always about the problem of quality versus quantity and all. So we can talk about the compared to the states like China and other states, India is also lacking. But the NEP that came in the 2020, it seems that it will come up with that.
Right, right, sir. Now that the NEP has given like 5 years of work, we can expect some changes and we can begin to outline the changes that it has brought. Anyway, we'll go on with the next segment, which is
Yeah.
to map the outcomes of higher education in India. If we do a cartographic analysis of education, especially higher education in India, what changes, what methods do we have to augment these outcomes?
See, first of all, we will have to look into the mindset, है ना? That what is the mindset of our development, and how are we going to look into that, है ना? So first of all, we need to have the employment outcomes, and I mean we talked about that. So what would be the employment outcome of the higher education, है ना? So like in India, if you Google it, around 8% of the total Indians right now are graduated. But what is a job outcome? When we talk about employment rate, okay, So around 51% of the graduate right now that we are getting year by year are considered job ready, है ना? And despite rising enrollment. So we know that there is a problem. And what is the problem in this one? Why the students are not getting job? As we are know that under 25 age, employment rate is reached around 42% in 2021 to 22. So what is the problem? Problem is that a student is not having the proper knowledge in the college. They are depending on theory system. Even in the NEP, this theory system had not changed directly. So employers are unable to get more intake from the students. They are not ready for practical jobs. Communication skills are not good. Internet and computer job quality educations are not there. So that is a major problem we can see. So we can look into that, and then there can be a development, that NEP came, and through that NEP we can look into the development.
Yes, sir. Sir, I would just like to add that our education probably has to be more inclined and aligned to with the global industry standards, as you have rightly put. Um, Also, adding to the employability question that you added, I had the chance to look at the India Skills Report 2025, which is augmented by the VBox by ETS, and
Yes.
they have noted that the employability in India is 54.8% currently, which has risen by some 7% since the last year. But there are
Yes.
still issues because this employability is in majority amongst the students of management and then amongst the students of engineering and science stream. There's no question of the humanities students, and as a student of humanities, a student of history, I am concerned. There are interstate disparities, as you have rightly put. There are gendered disparities, as you have rightly put. So these
So it
disparities
is
do
also, we
exist.
can say, it is because of the skill gaps, we can say.
Right.
Employers report deficits in communication, teamwork, digital literacy,
Right.
and applied problem solving. The IITs and IIM people get that.
Right.
So we should look into that.
Right. We have for that cause introduced the Swayam portal, the NPTEL, the UGC approved online degrees, but technology readiness level still remains a question. So thank you for noting that. Sir, we'll move on to discuss about how is education at the school level and higher education fundamentally different. Do you agree that they are fundamentally different, and what are the contours of differences that you can think of?
Yeah, of course, it's a different when we talk about purpose of the education of school level and college level. So in the school level, it imparts basic literacy, numeracy, values, and socialization. But when you move to the higher education, it provides about specialized knowledge, research skills, and professional training. The structure is also different. In the school, it is a highly centralized curriculum, primary, secondary, and higher. But here, in the higher education, it's a flexible, diverse discipline. Like you can study art, science, engineering, medical, and etc. Pedagogy difference, and then there's a difference in the autonomy also. In the school, prescribed syllabus are there. Here is a autonomy. Institutional setup is also different. Schools are regulated by the body like CBSE, ICSE, state boards and all. Where universities are to be autonomy and getting permissions from the UGC, NAC, II, AICTE, etc. So there's a difference between that. Outcome is also different. Right. Here in the school, it produces general educated citizens with basic competencies and all. Right. Here in the college and universities, it provides specialists, professional researchers, and innovators. So we can talk about there's a huge difference between these one. So but the challenges are there. Challenges are many things. In the school, a student often struggle moving from rote learning and all. But when you move to the school, it is on the research base. But even in the Delhi University, when we talk about the rote learning are still there. So we see that there is a huge difference between school and college according to purpose, planning, assessment, and all. But the same type of systems are there. Right. Rote learning is also visible in the Delhi University, as we know all. Right. The students center on the book only. They are unable to do practical knowledge. Right. In the history, as I am a teacher of history, we know that there are so many readings are there. The students are involved into that. They do not go to archives. They do not go to museums to see what is experiential learning. So we should focus on the experiential learning here.
That's true. That's true. I would actually agree with that. Sir, we stand at a juncture today where research output has to be an important indicator of higher education in India, and it is. Research output, research productivity, and qualitative research analysis are important indicators of higher education in India. What are the issues that you see in it? What are the issues that still exist?
Yes, Aditi. See, if we talk about research output, India ranks among top three countries globally in terms of research output.
Right.
But the quality, originality, and the global impact of this research is limited.
Right.
What is the main problem? Main problem of this slide is the quantity, weak industry linkage, and the lack of funding and poor infrastructure. When I talk about data, let's talk firstly about quantity versus quality. As I told you, India is among the top three countries of the world. Right. When we talk about quantity versus quality in the research output, India's publication numbers have surged from 26,000 in 2001 publication rate, 26,000. Now it is 3 lakh 70,000 around in 2024. But it is very low impact. Our research and the articles have not been cited globally. Citations are very less. It is because of the problems we are getting. We are getting very less funding. Do you know, in the research funding in India, it is less than 1% of the GDP, which is far below global leaders. We have a lackage of laboratories in the science libraries, digital resources are very inadequate in India. Also, we do not have good linkage with the industries. There should be the industry and the university IITs. Gaps should be taken out carefully. And it's a human capital challenge also. So we can say that despite global ranking in the research output, India lacks a high impact here. And what is the problem? What is the happening after that? Because of this research output is not good, employment gap होता है. With research culture affects innovation driven industries. है ना? The people are doing research on a topic that is not so much important for the development. है ना? So we should focus on those research and the originality of the research so that the people and the research can be cited globally. Impact factor is not good. है ना? So we should focus more on the quality of the research rather than the quantity of the research. And we should focus on these ethical concerns also. Like in it, problems, we are facing the problem for plagiarism. Many articles are plagiarized, duplicate citations, and these things are there. And these days, you know, in the modern time, we have AI, artificial intelligence, and many of the papers have been prepared with the help of artificial intelligence. So just tell me, what will be the concern of research in India when we depend on plagiarism and artificial intelligence? So we should focus on these.
Right. I remember the culture of informing the students firsthand in the first day of college. In your guidance at our college was to inform one about plagiarism and two about proper citations. In fact, I remember that there did exist a citations workshop conducted by you back in college. So thank you for that. But more so, I wanted to note that the the points that you've mentioned about the rise of AI and plagiarism has really taken up. What I also want to note that the research output in India is not just marred by these issues. It is also because of the matrix that is used to understand the research productivity. So, for instance, we currently use bibliometrics to understand research output in the sense that how many citations have been used in internationally recognized mediums. But another set of matrix is alta matrix that is emerging, which entails the number of mentions in a social media post or things of those sorts. So these new matrix, if we develop those matrix for our research output, we can actually show the actual reach of the papers. So that is what I wanted to add. But thank you for noting about the research bit, sir.
Yes.
I'll go on to talk to you about NEP, the new education policy that came up in 2020, and it's already 5 years now. What do you see? What are the achievements of the NEP, and are there loopholes, if any? I would want want you to note those out.
See, the NAP is very good. It's a very ideal one. And when it came in 2020, I was thinking about NAP. Right. And I came to understand that if it will be implemented properly in our colleges in across India, not only in the urban centers but in the rural area, it will change the education sector of India. Right. Okay, it's a really best one. It's a best policy. And as you know that NEP is a policy, it's not a law. So when it is not a law, the policy is not implemented. So first, talk about achievements and what is the progress of this one. So it had changed education system at school level also and college level and the higher education as well. In the school level, the new structure has been came, 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. It has the older version of 10 plus 2. Integrated preschool as well. And it has a very good agenda. And then in higher education, the people focus on the multidisciplinary of the university. Now the called ABC, that is called Academic Bank of Credit. The people can enter in any course. Suppose I am teaching history honors. The student enter into the history honors in 1 year and he gets it. Whatever ABC he will get, he will get a certificate course. 2 year diploma, 3 year normal degree, 4 year research degree. And people of history can read mathematics, they can read biology. So there is sort of multidisciplinary in the university in this NEP. And then because of this NEP, the gross enrollment ratio had also rising. And the people are focusing on research. Now after 3 years, in the 4th year, the people are told that all graduate students across discipline will focus on the research. In Delhi University, you can understand the 4th research period where the people will do some video recording, they will write dissertation, they will do a research methodology course and all. It has also changed technology and the portals like SWAYAM, DITSA and the National Digital Literacy Expanded Access. So we have also the integration of AI tools in this classroom. But loopholes also. What is the loophole and challenges? It is an implementation gap. I will take example of Delhi University only. I am not taking example of other university. You know that Delhi University is one of the top most famous university of India. And more than 70 colleges. So let us talk about the implementation gap. So gap is firstly about the center-state disagreement. So education is a concurrent subject, as you know. The laws can be made by central government also, state government also. So many states have delayed or resisted these reforms of India. And because urban schools and elite universities benefit more compared to the rural and the state institutions. When teacher shortage, let's talk about Delhi University first. There had been 3 years of education in the graduation in Delhi University, higher education, in colleges, B honors, BSc honors and BCom. Now we have added 1 more year. It means 1/3 of the job had been added extra. But teacher recruitment is not done. So there is a teacher shortage. There is a shortage of infrastructure, classroom, library, books, facilities and all. So you have more student, you need more classroom, but classroom is less, teacher is less, and now they are unable to manage. Now in the NEP what is there? If you do 4 year of BA and graduation, you will have only 1 year of masters, right? This is a program. But what is happening? The level of 4th year of the BA is not equal to the first year of MA. It was happening previously. Why? In MA, we remember we had done a masters and MPhil from JNU and DU. In MA, the professors are very specialized on their subject. Suppose someone is teaching gender history, and someone is teaching economic history. But in 4th year, the teachers are not specialized so much. So the of that infrastructure, teacher facility, specialization is not possible, and students are not prepared for that. So it is very problematic in the implementation. So this is a loophole, I think. And another loophole is a training gap also. So we have a limited professional development program for the teachers and that. So suppose if even it is implemented not properly manner, I'm talking about the best university of India, Delhi University. So there will be problem after that. See, right now NEP came in 2020. student is graduated through NEP. And the fourth, right now we are in 2025. It means the fourth year, the first student who admitted in 2000, I think he was not from NEP batch.
No, I was not.
He was not. So the student who came in the NEP batch in 2020, now they are in the fourth year. There will be the skill mismatch also. We talk reforms, but employment rate will not be go into that because people are still focusing on rote learning. Do you know 7 papers are there for one student? So one student go to college and they have to do 7 papers in a day. 6 papers, 7 papers. Just imagine so many assignments, so many CA, so many IA, and what will he or she do in terms of vocational courses? So the idea was very good, but the point is implementation is not properly done. So we need to look into the implementation. If implemented properly, I think this is the best policy.
Right. In public policy, we do often mention that a policy includes both the sense of the provisions of the policy as well as implementation, and implementation cannot be divorced from the policy itself. Anyway, sir, I would want to quickly jump to the Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adhishthan bill. We already had the NEP since 2020 and another commensurate UGC regulations. Why do you think we now need this bill? Why? What is the need arising for this HECI bill or the Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adhishthan bill?
Okay, when we talk about the NEP, okay, so NEP is not a policy. Sorry, NEP was a policy, not a law. So when the policy is made by the central government, it does not define everyone to implement it. So implementation depends on the states and institutions. So we had the institutions like UGC, University Grant Commission, that governs the colleges, universities in India. Then we have AICTC. The AIC talks about technical education, and then we have NAC and all. So now when this bill comes, this will be a type of the law. Yeah. So this bill that you talk about, Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adhishthan bill, it aims to institutionalize NEP vision into a law. We can talk about. So the policy is now going to be made into a law, ensuring consistency, accountability, and enforceability. This is a basic point we can talk about this bill. So when we go into this bill and a summary, what is the main purpose? Main purpose is to bring the 3 institutions, UGC, AI, CTE, and NCT, into a same platform in a single. So we have 3 institutions in India, governing body. It is to तीन जो मैंने बताया 3 body, UGC, AICT, and NCT, working in a different field for the different discipline into the field of regulation, okay, accreditation, and then fund. Now these all will be into one, okay, in one body. So under this one, what will happen? This will establish a Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adhishthan, that is called VBSA, and this will be replacing all 3 body into the one. And it will have autonomy and transparency. It will focus on quality education. It is very much aligned with the NEP that is not implemented properly, that supports universal access, multidisciplinary education and all. When we talk about the branches, see, we had 3 things. I told you, UGC, AICT, and NCT. Now we will have also 4 things within this bill. The 4 roles of this bill is that we will have the BV and a VBSA commission. This commission will be a best body. It will govern. It will look into the governance, policy making, and the coordination of all education in India, higher education. Then we will have a regulatory council called Shiksha Viniyam. Shiksha Viniyam, that is called regulatory council, will oversee establishment of new universities in India, ensure compliance with the rules. So there is a regulatory body. Now there will be the accreditation council, Shiksha Gunvatta. So as a NAC will be replaced with the Shiksha Gunvatta. It will evaluate institutions for quality, its grant, accreditation status and all. And then third will be the standard council called Shiksha Manak Parishad. It defines academic benchmark, curriculum standard, and faculty qualifications. So we can talk about that how it works. This will centralize the oversight. So board policy coordinate among all councils and all. There will be a regulatory council. So what will happen here? One body will look into the regulation, one body will look into the accreditation, one body will look into the funding. So now it will be पहले क्या था earlier UGC in the like Delhi University, Central University, UGC was a funding body, UGC was a regulatory body, UGC was an accreditation body. Now three different body will be there and they will be separate. So it will be made by some other body within the same. I am talking council called VBSA. So this will really help the state of higher education. So what is expectation we can talk about? It will end the duplication of roles across UGC. Just as a support, we talk example of BHU. So BHU is university that is technical education also, that has the normal arts and science education also, and then they had a medical education also. So this institution we had to take permission from different body. Now there will be one body that is called Viksit Bharat Shikshan Anusthan, and it will look into the all. It will also help global competitiveness. It helps Indian university climb international ranking as well. It was proposed in the parliament and saying that it will be the student-centric body as well. It will ensure better quality education, transparency in the admission, recognition of the degrees and all, and it will also focus on research and innovation. So we can say that this Viksit Bharat Admission Bill 2025 is designed to streamline governance, raise quality, and modernize our education system in India. Hope it will work.
Right. Sir, you are right in mentioning that the bill is aiming to streamline the processes and unify regulations, but there are concerns pertaining to excessive centralization and executive outreach. How do you see that?
See, centralization is important in some way when you talk about the regulation. Because if the centralization is not there, what happens to JNU? See, JNU, DU is JNU, DU, PHU, and Hyderabad University are one of the best universities. When you go to Bihar, UP, Madhya Pradesh, the state of the university, the position of the universities are not good. It is because of the lack of the willpower coming from the state governments. So you see, since education is a part of the concurrent list, they have laws, they have right to make a law. But the point is, it will help in the globalization and research innovations as well. So, of course, there is a point behind the decentralization and decentralization, but it will, when we talk about India as a country, it will really help in the education sector.
Right. So there's also concerns about funding powers of this new commission, the VBSA commission. It has been noted in the official document that funding will be done through the mechanisms, quote unquote, mechanisms devised by the Education Ministry. Although the matter has been referred to a 31-member JPC, Joint Parliamentary Committee, but the concerns loom large about the funding issues for the commission.
See, right now also when you talk about, you can talk example of your college also, from your college only, from where you graduated. You must be knowing about the course that is related to. There are some courses in IB college and one courses that was self-sufficient and self-funding courses, where the college or the university are expected to bring funding from industries. When we talk about JNU itself, it is highly funded, centrally funded by the Central University. But some courses in the JNU now, like the courses like BTech, MBA, are to be self-sufficient course where the funding will be brought from the industries and the fee can be high. So it is some other courses also. So the point is that government, see, since you talk about GDP, do you know the NEP ensure that 6% of the total GDP of India would be the part of higher education and education sector, but it is still less than 3%. So they are aiming, but the point is there will be funding gap from the side of government. So, like the foreign universities and the funding of the Cambridge and Oxford, their funding is not dependent only on the government. We will have to look into the other sides, how to get. Suppose our college is there, we can look into our alumni. We have We can contact with the industries, and we can partnership with the PPP, public-private partnership. If you look into that, so funding can be arranged from that side as well. Of course, be a problematic one since it is not, it is very new in India. But we set up, and I was listening a debate of the education minister on the topic, and he was talking that funding won't be an issue on this one. So see, whenever the bill come, the opposition and there is a opposition of that particular bill, like the NEP came, and like the Rajiv Gandhi brought the policy also, the problem was against that also. But now the point is that if it is going to be implemented, then it will happen.
Right. Sir, there are concerns as to bringing internationally recognized universities like IITs, IISCs under one umbrella, one regulatory umbrella, just as the other universities. This actually reinforces the one size fits all approach that has been taken up for different other policies as well. From a model of specialized oversight to moving towards a generalized oversight system. Um, how do you see that? How do you see that in context of the VBSA?
What this bill brings to taken into consideration. When we talk about the universities, which are elite, those are like IITs, AIMS, JNU and all. And then we talk about state universities, state non-elite colleges. So the funding issue, faculty problems are there. And the funding, like in these elite colleges like IITMs and all, they have very good funding from government. Their alumni donations are also there. Their industry partnerships are there. But in case of state universities and the local colleges, there are very limited budget, dependence on tuition fees and all. Their faculty quality was also not there. If I talk about my example only, Aditi, I am from Bihar and I did my 12th from a college. You know, that college had only one teacher of history who used to teach 11th, 12th, BA, first year, second year, third year, whatever papers they had. Just one man, one history teacher doing 11, 12 to all 3 years of BA. In your college, in IP college, there are more than 10 teachers. So see the gap of the funding, quality of teacher, and quality of teacher is also dependent. So point, this is what this bill, this University Bharat bill brings to bring a gap so that the university will be centralized and the funding can be taken into the consideration so that the admission rate can increase, the faculty training can be provided, infrastructure can be done, research output can be done, and global regulations can be made. So when we go into these matters, we can change this one. So also there is a biasness among the employer. When you tell that you are from Delhi University, you will have high chances that you will be selected. You take what you are from UP Bihar, the chances is very less. So we should look into the gap, equity gap पे थोड़ा ध्यान देना पड़ेगा, and that is this bill, want to bring a gap.
Right. So you're right in mentioning that there are entry barriers to certain institutions like the University of Delhi, the IITs, and other bigger institutions. You're right in mentioning that, and there clearly exists a gap, and we are hoping that this bill will look up to that. Sir, I also wanted to put up a question in the context of the quality chasm between the IITs and state universities, the distinction that exists between elite and non-elite colleges in India. What policy measures have been there to bridge this gap? If you can elaborate on that.
Gap is there, and we discussed in the previous question as well. But when we talk about how to bridge and how to bring them, gap, how to delete the gap. So we should look into the strategic roadmaps for universities. Like we have an IDP, you talked about that, institutional development plans under the HEC. So with IDP require every education, institutions higher education, to prepare a 10-year vision plan with clear goals for academic excellence, inclusivity, and innovation. And it will be funded. They should focus on holistic growth. They will have to work on curriculum modernization, faculty development, research promotion, and student support, etc., etc. So they will have link into the fundings part also. Like the state university has to ensure that they receive proper grant based on their performance and planning rather than the enrollment alone. They will have to look into the finances also, that how to get it. They will have to encourage about the new research and innovation. And we have the NRF, National Research Foundation, integration so that a state university can access the competitive research grant by the National Research Foundation, etc. So we can bring out the gap here, and then we can look into the faculty development program also. The faculty of the state universities should have compulsory, mandatory professional development program for their teachers. Then that is possible. So when we will have incentives for faculty engaged in research, like let me tell you, there is one incentive in the central universities, like there is a PhD increment. So suppose you are an assistant professor and you have PhD, so you will have 3 increment in your salary, and not PhD, not that will be simple one. So this type of like incentive should be given to the teacher faculty so that he will be engaged in research industry. Suppose there is a private university, if you publish in the Scopus journal, you will get this much amount. आपको पैसा extra मिलता है. But in the university, government university, there is no incentive for publication, research and all. So teacher who are involved, they are busy. Okay, what to do, why to do, है ना? So there should be some incentive for those things. Then people will be ready for that. Suppose, let me tell you one more example. There are some conferences in India, right? And in the conferences, the fee are so high, 1,500 rupees, 2,000 rupees. And then you have a transportation cost. Suppose you are from Delhi, you want to present a paper in Bangalore. You need how much money? How much money? You need more than 10,000 rupees, and more than 10,000 rupees to go there to present your paper. So it is huge that the research scholar do not want to go to that state. So it should be properly organized. We should look into that so that the people, research scholar, young teacher will be motivated to go into the research. So if these things are done in the state universities, I think the gap can come here, and the gap can go up.
Right. So thank you for the insightful podcast, insightful discussion. I really had a great time discussing the new bill and the successes and the challenges that still exist with the NEP. It was a great session talking to you. Thank you for joining in. It was a wonderful session. Yeah.
Thank you, Aditya. Thank you for inviting me.